was, well, maybe I shouldn't talk about it, but she did pray about it, and it came back to her that what I was shared with her is true. She's now also a flat earther. But yeah, there's a lot of testimony. I think the most compelling for me, anyways, if you were to ask me what's the most compelling, it would have to be some water experiments, and after that, it would be the high altitude footage. Third is the whistleblowers, and I'm sure everyone can
Does,
critique me on all points.
doesn't
But
it make
Before
your
we,
doesn't it make your
oh,
belief really fragile though?
I was going to ask that same thing.
Ha
If
ha. I
if
got
everybody,
hurt. Ha
yeah, you
ha.
won. If we all go up in spaceship someday, whatever, and there's no flat earthers anymore, should they? Are you afraid that they'll all lose their religion? That they'll all stop being Christians?
oh, no, for sure. But the thing is, for
Well,
me, it's like a leg on a table. So let's say we have a four-legged table or four-legged chair. We take away one of the legs, it's still going to stand. So one of the legs is creation. So for instance, we have some Christians out there who believe in the rules, they believe in the judgment, they believe in the grace. So that's pretty much the other three legs that are still standing. But what happens is, with a missing leg, when we invite someone over to our table to, so to speak, eat and share knowledge, our table's wobbly. They get annoyed, and they're probably not going to want to stay. But if you have a solid, level, stable table, they're willing. And from my experience, they're willing to stay a lot longer. And I've been able to actually help people change, let go of the globe idea and go back to something more biblical.
how many people do you know that have deconverted?
Yeah, three for sure.
And what was
And
their reason?
oh,
That
our
they
method was our method
no,
was
excuse me. How
oh,
many
sorry.
people have you known that quit being Christians?
Oh,
That
that.
became
Oh, no, from my experience, personal experience from off the internet, none.
okay.
Did you mean
So
Dr. J, because of flat Earth they
no,
stopped?
just in general, just they quit. They gave up their Christianity. So I know
Well,
people that have,
yeah, one.
right?
Yes, yeah, I do. Actually,
Okay.
my
And
sister. Yeah, I have family members. Yeah, yeah.
okay, yep. And what were some of the reasons? Did they tell you?
Yeah. Okay. In particular, with my family member, we both attended Catholic uh, schooling, elementary and high school, and I don't think we were given the foundation we needed that would sustain the attacks in the world. And what's happened is now she's fallen for, in my opinion, false beliefs, and it's shaken her faith so much that she almost feels scared to rely on it. And the same with my other friends. So yeah,
And what was it that shook it?
I would, if I was to say, it's probably
I
modern
hate
day
I hate
science that they believe, like
okay.
the modern day science, like the Big Bang, the globe.
But the
And so
Catholic
there's
Church accepts modern day science, right?
Oh yes, the thing is, like, if we were to analyze the history of the Reformation, we would actually find that this was a hot debate back then. In fact, if it's really funny because I meet Calvinists, and then when I bring up flat Earth, they think it's hilarious. But then I ask them to read what John Calvin says about the Earth being tilted and moving. It's really harsh. So this was a hot
uh,
topic. Flat Earth wasn't the most important topic, if I'm not mistaken. The hottest topic of the Reformation was if the Earth is at the center or the sun. So that was the primary. So in my opinion, let's just go back really briefly. From my
mhm.
understanding history, what's happened was the devil, he hid the true scriptures from mankind, keeping men and women in bondage. What happened was God made a way for the truth to be revealed. So the printing press was uh, given to the people, releasing the Bible to the people because the devil could no longer stop the release. he had to basically flood the market with false copies, false Bibles, and then it basically what happened was, from my research, is the Catholic Church was then used to, and I can go into great detail on how they were used, but in just on a surface level, they were used to attack the very foundations of the Bible. Because remember, this group of people were basically selling forgiveness on a price list. Each sin had its own price.
Well, let me ask:
So-
is your sister still a Christian Catholic?
Oh, is my sister still Catholic? Yes.
Okay, then she hasn't given up her faith.
Oh, but it's not. The thing is, she's more of a new age. She has more faith in such as.
But she's a Catholic,
Yeah, but see, the thing is, like,
so she's not an atheist. She just
Yeah, I would
doesn't
look at
agree
it
with
like-
you.
yeah, she would be one of the pretty
Well-
much the modern day Christian, which
Yeah,
is ill
If they don't agree
prepared.
with you, they're not Christian, right? If they don't
Yeah,
agree.
and I can go in. I'm familiar with the no true Scotsman fallacy, and I'd love for you guys to analyze my point of view.
Because the Catholic Church is agnostic about abiogenesis, it's agnostic about evolution, it's agnostic about everything except the human soul. It says human soul was created. So you can believe Adam and Eve were human souls in heaven and were cast out from the Garden of Eden as souls and put on flesh when they were cast out, and there were other humans around. You could believe in an old earth, you could believe in human evolution, you could believe in an ancient universe, and you just have to believe that God started the Big Bang and God created souls. That's it.
I mean, the current pope believes in evolution.
Yeah, but before we
Yeah.
get too far afield here, I just wanted to go back to what we were saying. So
Thank you.
you were saying that a lot of people are converting to Christianity because of flat Earth. You've known a few examples.
Yes.
I can have personal people in my life. I'm not going to give a lot of details about who they are, of course, but one of them had kids, started homeschooling their kids, worked to figure out a science curriculum, and as they were working to find the science curriculum for their kids, looked deeply into the whole creation thing and realized that the young Earth creation stuff wasn't right, and then eventually ended up not being Christians at all anymore.
Oh.
Don't go to church or anything like that. So, like, when you say you know a lot of people converting because of science, I don't think you know whether more people are converting or they're leaving Christianity because of these scientific beliefs like flat Earth or whatever, right? There might actually be more people leaving than joining. And I don't know if you know which one it is, other than personal anecdotes. Obviously,
You're right. Yeah, you raise a great point. I believe the modern day. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, Dr. J. But
Nope. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I believe the modern day educational system is, from my research, part of the reason why the faith of the modern day education system is the reason why we have so many modern day atheists. Personally,
It's because of fundamentalists in the United States and evangelicals. You're leaving
that
those
could be a problem
religions.
too. I believe
But-
what happens is the devil will use all
But they're not.
possibilities to make Christianity look like it's the worst thing in the world.
No,
Like
no,
flat
no.
Earth,
But like your sister, they're not leaving Catholicism.
Yeah, but it's very weak, and it's actually leaves her very vulnerable, in a very dangerous position.
Okay.
Where, in fact, I believe it could
That's just your
it could be
opinion.
fatal.
Well, that's
How
yeah.
does she report her faith? Does she report a strong faith?
No, very very weak faith. I'm actually trying to get into it, but it's such
Your
a sensitive
opinion.
topic.
Yeah,
Like-
you may not want to talk about your sibling like this. I mean, you'd probably
Yeah,
better
yeah, she's amazing. Just like all siblings, but yeah. So
Nah, not all siblings. My brother sucks.
yeah.
It's sort of fine. But all the mean one of my brothers are dead. But I shouldn't say that like it's a good thing, I guess. But
My
Anyway.
condolences.
Well, I think it's interesting. So you mentioned that your sister's new age, so is she into like tarot and psychic
Oh,
readers
no,
and stuff.
not so much that she
Crystals.
doesn't explore those avenues, but she's more open to, like, let's say, psychic readings,
Psychic reading.
and what the psychics believe about spirits. She seems that is more credible.
Well,
But,
you believe in that too, don't you? You just think it's from the devil.
yeah, that's right. I believe there's
Yeah.
a different interpretation. Yes,
Your belief isn't really that different than hers.
that's right. Yeah, two people can look at the same item and have two different perspectives.
Well, one of these days, I don't know if you have a channel, but I'd be happy to chat more with you about this corruption of Christianity, and I don't know, well,
Yeah, I'd love
but
to.
maybe
Yeah,
not this.
that was
Maybe
Yeah,
not
yeah.
this channel, but maybe you and I can go on and on about that.
that
some
was
other time.
something.
I'd be honored to do it with all
I
you
find
guys.
I find it extremely hard to believe that the devil could like infiltrate the institution of the church to the degree that you were saying. I find it like
Well,
extremely hard to believe, and I don't believe in any of this.
okay, I'll give
So-
you the mechanism, and then you can reject it or consider it. Okay, so what happened is for context, the creator knew we're going to be facing lies, so he gave us rules. I'll just quickly, the four axioms are creation, rules, judgment, and grace. So he gave us rules, and he also gave us protection. So what happens is when men or when people don't put on the full armor, which is the protection, they're vulnerable. And I'll give you a perfect example. This is in my book. You have a computer operating system. It might be up to date. It might come from a reputable source, someone you can trust. But if there's backdoors, there's 0-day vulnerabilities, that system can be accessed anytime. Remote, they can access the camera, they can access the keystrokes, basically use that computer to launch attacks on other people on the network. So what's happened is men which aren't wearing the armor, don't walk in truth, they can be just like Jeremiah. God entered Jeremiah and used him. I believe the devil can, just like in the Matrix, Agent Smith, he can enter anyone in the system because they're pretty much plugged into the system.
Right.
So,
But we're not talking about regular people. I could be corrupted, but we're talking about holy people. We're talking about priests. We're talking about nuns. We're talking about
but these are the same.
preachers and
Great, yeah, you raise this excellent question. But the sad thing is, these very same people put the Pope above the Scripture, which was the whole point of the Reformation. These people, William Tyndale, Martin Luther, these people were outraged that the cardinals, the priests, thought the Pope was his authority usurped the Bible, the Holy Scripture.
Well, that's
And-
because Jesus said so.
Oh yeah, great point. I'm sure there's a lot that, for instance, to your point, Jesus healed someone on the Sabbath, which broke one of the commandments. So you're
No,
right.
Jesus said whatever the church says on earth, it shall be in heaven. So he gave authority to Peter to make laws on earth.
Yeah.
That would be
No
heavenly
one
laws.
questions that, but it's just papal, whether there's papal succession, right? Did he give it to all of his
Oh, great
descendants
point.
after?
And then are they protected, and are they being used as a tool? For instance, for me, and what my premise is, I want to remind everybody, the non-believer and the believer, that there is protection once you put it on. For instance, this is the other part of the Ten Commandments that I was going to argue with, how it acts as your protection and freedom. If we were all to follow these commandments, you are protected from being your property stolen from. You are protected from
No, you're
anyone.
not.
Hold on, just hear me out. Remember, imagine everyone follows the Ten Commandments. No one's gonna want to harm you. No one's gonna want to steal from you. No one's gonna want to
Yeah, they
covet
do.
your property.
But they
This
do.
is how the rules act as our own protection.
I
and our
do have
Are
I
real.
do have a question to push back against. Do you
Of
believe
course.
somebody could be mentally deficient or like incapable of following the Ten Commandments?
Oh, yes, medically wise, I've seen it. I've witnessed it. For instance, one time I
Okay.
was. Yeah.
So
go ahead,
then
sorry.
then couldn't they steal from you?
Oh, in that sense, yeah, I believe what's happened is there's some sort of usually some sort of chemical issue, and through healing, through methods, medical treatment, I think these issues can be addressed.
Okay, but so
Personally.
they could still steal from you until they're healed. Then, so you're
The
not fully
issue
protected.
the
Well,
issue in society isn't coming up with the list of rules. Like there isn't a magical 10 that the Bible has that I think is the problem. It's getting people to follow the rules, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's a great
that's the
point.
issue.
That's a
Well,
great point.
Having
Like
the
for
right
instance,
list
he said
doesn't
there was
seem to
magic.
be the issue.
He said that there
Well, he
was
thinks
magical protection.
he
You put on
yes,
God's
but
armor. You put on God's armor,
and yes,
you're
and I have
protected.
the. Oh, sorry, Brenda. Go ahead.
Well, you put on God's armor, and you're protected. And
I
it's
have the.
based in spirit, which it. What kind of Dr. J meant by magic? What I mean by magic. But so yeah.
I have evidence of how the protection works. There was a gentleman named Desmond Dawes. He was in a fight with his brother as a child. He hit him in the head with a rock, nearly killing him. So he went inside and he prayed to God. He said, God, if you save my brother, I'll never pick up another weapon. His brother survived. I think it was World War II broke out. He decided to enlist, but he did not take up a weapon because he was a Seventh-day Adventist. While in training, his whole platoon found out that he wasn't going to carry a weapon. They all turned on him. They tried to kick him out because they didn't trust that he could save their lives. And in the heat of the battle, when he went into what was known as Hacksaw Ridge, one of the most deadly areas of the war at the time, he was facing bullets, missiles, rockets, fire. Without a weapon, he saved 77 people.
That doesn't
That's-
sound right. That the Seventh-day Adventists usually wouldn't be sent to a
Well,
war.
he was a
You're
medic.
required. Oh, he's a
That's a
medic.
movie.
Yeah, he was a medic.
College.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he wasn't
It's a
required to carry a weapon.
Yeah, it's a
That's
super
what-
famous story.
It was
it's a
very
super
yes.
Okay.
famous movie.
He was
Yeah.
almost banned from joining.
We have a question for you. John Robin Webster sends it $2. Did God make it appear like we evolved?
I would, to be frank, no. But to be fair, yes, through adaptation. For instance, we see great changes in the wolf to the Chihuahua. So yes, it could appear that way, but to drive it home on my evidence that no is because I don't see a change of kind from one kind to another. I know this is a hot topic and some will disagree with me, but that's my point of view.
Well,
So,
it's not that they disagree with you; it's that you're just objectively wrong. It's
Did
just
you
not
see
a fact.
my? Did you see my show earlier, Taking Back Eden or John? Like to me, if we were in a dome, I wouldn't believe God did it. I would believe aliens created a prison planet for us.
Oh yeah. Some people look at it as a prison. Even Christians think it's a prison. It's a holding cell for us. That's what Ray
Yeah.
Comfort calls it, a holding cell.
Because
Oh.
it would be, we wouldn't be able to leave the dome, so it would be a prison, literally.
Yeah. Great point. Yeah, that's one way to look at it. Potentially.
Prison,
Yeah.
prison
I didn't watch
planet.
the show. I
Aliens?
did want to watch it though. Thank you for covering that. I'm a huge fan of this channel, and you
Thanks
guys.
for watching.
Oz,
Yeah.
I must say I don't find that super convincing either way. Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
So this dome, how high up is it, and what is it made out of? You gotta-
Okay, let's. Great question, Brenda. I don't know, but let's say for the thought experiment, let's say the highest point is at the North Pole. Maybe it's the Kármán line, which is 100 kilometers, and then let's say closer to the edge. If we're looking at the firmament on the flat Earth model, maybe it's a lot lower, as Antarctica supposedly is on average
Sure.
near one of the highest continents on the planet. So I think perhaps at one stage it's so cold that in Hebrew cosmology it shows that the mountains reach the sky, and then from there the sky has the firmament.
So is there any material in this universe that can make a dome 100 miles high?
I have
You just
Great question.
or you just believe in it because you want to believe in it.
yeah, that's partly true. I've been sharing an image. If you were to Google right now, frozen bubbles, that's what I've been sharing on Discord.
You think
And
ice? So you think ice has the it has the structural strength to hold up its own weight 100 miles high? Is that what you think?
I believe so, because the dome isn't the dome very efficient and strength-wise?
Materials have to hold they have to hold up their own weight, and they're only so strong.
Yeah, great point.
There simply is no material that a dome could be made of the size that flat earthers believe in. It simply cannot happen in this universe, given, you know, the atoms and the elements and the materials we have. There is no way physically a dome could exist.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing your opinion. I'm definitely looking more into it.
Stop hand waving things away and start trying to make your beliefs correspond with the way the real world is. There is no material out of which a dome 100 miles high could be built. It would fall on itself, because the bonds between the molecules themselves are not strong enough to hold up that much weight.
You're 100% certain of this?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
And yes, you are correct in saying that the dome structure is strong, but we don't just build pure domes. We generally need something to hold it. And I'm not an expert in architecture by any means, but if you look at any dome that we have built, and especially the really big ones, they have supporting structures so the dome doesn't collapse on itself.
Yeah, great point.
Going back to what Brenda was saying about materials and weight.
I'm not sure if anyone here has seen the supposed Antarctic video of some sort of metallic structure near the wall. Have you guys seen? There was two videos. One is a cell phone, grainy video of this metallic structure, and someone had a follow-up video of it was close to HD, maybe 720. Have you guys seen it?
No.
It's okay, Max. I'll share it to you when I find it. I absolutely will. It's on.
Yeah, but we can't play videos because we get
not today. I'll do it on
by the man.
Yeah, I'll send it to you guys, and we can assess it in the future. But
we can share it with everyone so everyone can look. But the last time we showed a video, we got demonetized.
Ooh. Yeah.
So
it was all Isa's fault.
Yeah, we don't want that. We're almost at 10,000 people. Yeah, go ahead, Dr. J. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah, so do you think are you thinking that the people that don't believe the Bible teaches flat earth, that the Bible is like agnostic on the shape of the earth, are they just like wrong, don't care, wrong, really big problem, wrong, going to hell? Like,
no,
how
I don't think they would.
Wrong?
Great question. Thank you, Dr. J. I don't think God would send anyone to hell for their belief in the shape of the world. What happens is, in my opinion, what the Bible says, it's the sin. That's the problem. So, for instance, if I only had 3 minutes with someone and they're dying in my arms, I'm not bringing up the shape of the world. I'll be taking them right straight to the 10 Commandments.
So, okay, but where does it fall, right? Like, the next thing you teach someone would be like, maybe at some point, like, don't kill, all right? Like, that'd be, don't murder. That would be like relatively high on the importance list, right? Like, try to help me know where on the importance list this is. So we're saying it's not a salvation issue in your mind, but it's somewhere on the list. And is it more important than Calvinism and Arminianism? Is it more important than your end times theology? Is it more important than what?
Great question. Here's my answer. I look at it because it's the very first foundation. It's not the last. So just like a three-legged table, it's still going to stand. What it is, since it is axiomatic, in my opinion, it can be used to help win back people from one belief over to biblical belief. So I look at it as a tool, like
it's an evangelism tool.
Yes, the more tools we have, the better. For instance, when we're out fishing in the ocean, we're going to have different lures, one for the big fish, one for the guppy.
I see. And so someday, if we do take a spaceship up there and we realize the Earth is round or something, you're going to go, well, that
I was wrong.
tool I used was baloney, but glad you're here anyway.
Yes, that's why whenever I get a chance to share with people, I ask them. I'm actually, Dr. J, I'm 100% for 100% amnesty for all involved. If this is true, if there's a cover up, I think everyone involved should be given amnesty. Furthermore, if I'm wrong, I hope I'm given forgiveness as well.
Dr. J had a good sort of thought experiment a couple days ago when he asked if there was an experiment that a flat earther could do and a globe earther that they could agree on that could be done by ordinary people that would, if it goes one way, it would determine that the earth is flat and another that it's a globe. Do you think that there's such an experiment?
Great question, Brenda. I was in the live chat when you guys brought that up. I was listening in. I think so. I think if people sat down, brought up, let's say 5 experiments, and then they could go one by one and then see what happens. Yeah.
Well, what would that be? What would that be then?
For me, what I use is several water thought experiments.
No, not thought experiments, actual experiments, right, Dr. J?
Yeah, and tell me what those experiences would be, and then you tell me what you think would happen, and Brenda, you tell me what you think would happen, because I don't know what will happen, because I don't, I'm like useless here. But what
Yeah.
something that Eden you think would happen that would be different than Brenda thinks would happen. So
Okay,
the rainbow in the garage, I got that one going. When it's not cold here in Kansas, I'm going to do that one of these days, maybe in a month or two. But is that the only one we can think of, or do you have another one?
I would think, there would be definitely 3 or 4. For me, the first one is water. The second would be.
When you say water, what would we do? What would I do that Brenda's going to say one thing's going to happen and you're going to say another thing's going to happen?
Okay, thank you. And I'm open to critique. I have 2 thought experiments of a water vessel or a water container. So imagine yourself a circular. Okay, do you remember on these windmill farms where they collect water, the water wheel? Where the water wheel on a house that generates power. So
is this
are you familiar with
a
the
water wheel or a windmill? A water wheel on a river?
I think he misspoke. I think he misspoke. It just means a water wheel.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, so let's build a water wheel. And let's say just on a scale of 5 foot by 5 foot by 1 foot. And let's make it out of, we can do, the thought experiment is unlimited resources, and we can build this vessel 5 by 5 by 1 out of any materials. Let's go through as many materials as we want. Wood, earth-like, so we have lots of magnetic container, water wheel, an electric water wheel, whatever we have. And then my experiment is to try to replicate how Earth is holding water 90 degrees from the uppermost part.
I will show you an image, but the premise of the experiment is flawed because to do something like that, you have to get out of the gravitational field of the Earth.
Yeah, so for me, this is a red flag. Because imagine you're asking for evidence. Let's say you want to say, show me this experiment, and then they're like, oh, but you have to do it out in space where you can't go.
Taking back what's important is that both parties agree. I think that's the first thing.
Yeah, great point.
So if you're saying build a water wheel, well, I don't disagree with that. You can build a water wheel out of anything you want.
John, do me a quick favor. If you're on Discord, send me that water image so I can share it with everyone.
Perfect. Thank you guys.
And found it.
Okay, thank you.
So sounds like the one you came up with, we wouldn't, or the Globers wouldn't agree with you on saying these are the parameters. We agree on the parameters. We're going to do it, and you're going to say one thing's going to happen, and they're going to say another thing's going to happen. Sounds like they would predict the same things that you would for different reasons, right?
Yeah.
Your explanation would be different than theirs, but they would agree on what would happen. We need an experiment where something actually different would happen.
Yeah, great
Does that
point.
make sense?
Yeah. Thank you for
Because
pointing
if
that
we
out.
do the going over the horizon thing, you might have an explanation of what we're seeing, and Brenda might have an explanation of what we're seeing, and they're both different. But that doesn't help me because you're both just giving different explanations. I want
The-
something where you'll actually predict something different.
this is what he means, and what I'm going on about is that within the gravitational field of Earth, you can't do that. But a good example of this, for example, this one could be a pool in the south, which they exist because we have pools down here. I can attest to that. I've seen them. I dove in a couple of them. So this, I mean, as an experiment, that we wouldn't agree on the premise, so we would need to look for
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah, it would have to be another experiment. You guys are right. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think we should actually sit down one day and drop what are the best
Oh,
experiments.
I got one. I got
Okay, yeah,
one. Let's find a stretch of water that we both agree is relatively flat, or at least level or even,
yeah.
and then we put a telescope on one end, so many feet above the water, and then 6 miles away, we put up a flag, right? And that's going to be the same height as the telescope. And then in between them, we put up another flag, and that one's going to be the same height. And I predict that the middle flag will be seen to be above line of sight from the telescope to the distant flag. And I think that you would say that they should be all even. And I think that would be something that could physically be done by a lot of people. And it would be one that, in my mind, would determine whether the Earth is at least curved or flat. It wouldn't prove
Yeah.
it's a globe. What do
Yeah,
you
I think
of
that's a
that?
great idea. It's a cost-effective experiment that you're right, many can do. And I think this should be repeated at least maybe 10 times under different conditions. Then we can look at all of the results.
Sure.
This
sure.
is one, yeah. And
Yeah.
I think we should come up with some other ones. But yeah, that's a strong one.
Yeah, we could call it the Bedford level experiment, couldn't we?
Well,
Yeah.
maybe we don't. I always wanted one that I could do because I'm granting that I don't trust Bedford or whoever he was, right? Like,
Mhm.
I was just willing to grant that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So any other ones that we could do? So I'm going to create a rainbow. The 6 mile thing would be really hard for me to do. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. I don't. I'm trying to think how I would pull that off. As a matter of fact, I'm so unconfident that I would even be capable of doing it correctly. I don't know. I would have to have a telescope, right? How much does that cost?
It takes a little bit of practice, but you can do it. And as I suggested, don't do it in the garage. Do it in the yard so you don't wet everything inside the garage.
Oh,
But
the
you
garage.
can do
the
a
rainbow I
half
can do.
rainbow, and you can do a full rainbow.
The rainbow I could do, but the telescope one, how much does that cost?
The telescope.
Well,
What
I
would
think
you
you
mean?
can rent. I think you can rent a survey equipment with. I don't know how much it costs though, but you could.
Oh,
rent.
the theodolite. I looked into it. Costs about $35 per day. Or 150 if you rent it for a week in the U.S. So it's pretty
Right.
cost effective if you
I
want
think
to
you
do
could get
like,
away with. I think you could get away with the. It wouldn't have to be a theodolite, but I think you could get away with something cheaper.
Oh, definitely, yeah, of course.
And
Especially in the US where you get a lot. If I were to try to do any of this here in Uruguay, it would cost an arm and a leg. But you can definitely get like an optic theodolite, or the old ones, and you can do the experience, and that would be a lot cheaper.
Yeah. How about we all take a trip to Abu Dhabi and we'll go
No,
up?
thank you.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's a good idea. I think.
No, sorry.
No, I
was
would
just thinking
surely
of a
get
high place on
killed.
Earth. I didn't. Yeah.
I will get killed there, of course,
Oh no.
because I wouldn't be able to hold myself.
Sorry. The only reason that came to mind was because it's they have a high viewpoint. So maybe somewhere else, like CN Tower in Toronto.
What you mean the what is it? Burj Khalifa. Is that
Yeah,
what it's
yeah.
called?
Yeah, the Burj Khalifa.
Yeah. Do you think that that's shows something significant? What do you think that that shows?
Well, yeah, what would you guys think? Would you guys think that we should see visible curvature from the top of the Burj?
Well, what
No.
some people have done is that they've waited till for the sun to set, right at when they're standing at the first
Yeah.
floor, and then they take the elevator up, and they can see the sunset a second time.
Yeah, I've
And
seen the videos.
I think that's a demonstration of curvature.
Yeah, but if you mean would we be able to see the curvature from the top of the Burj Khalifa? No,
Left to
it
right.
still
No,
looks
you
like
wouldn't. No,
pretty
Okay, yeah.
flat.
that a
You
run for
need
flat Earth?
about like 35,000 meters. Up to that point, you start seeing the curvature, or I think it's anywhere from 60 to 80,000 feet that you get people doing halo jumps. Those are the high altitude launching something where they jump from a plane like with a parachute. And from that altitude, people who have done that say that you can see the curvature from that altitude. And that's just like a regular flight. You can do that in a Hercules.
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. There's a guy in the Modern Day Debate Discord who did halo jumps himself in his military training.
What's a
And
halo jump?
It's a high altitude launch operation where it's like skydiving, but high altitude. So you need an oxygen mask to jump from that high.
Yeah, who holds the world record right now? I believe it's one of the owners of Google. Did he not surpass Felix Baumgartner's height? I believe Felix was
Not
like a test
sure.
run.
Well, Felix said he could see the curvature.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, what do you mean? Yeah.
Okay,
you know, I
Brenda, I'll
find
give
that-
you an
I
answer
find
why. Can I give you an answer
Well,
why,
I
Brenda?
just want to say I find this really frustrating when
Well-
you tell flat earthers things and they just dismiss it. It's like they're not interested in
Okay, well,
having their beliefs be true. They just want to hold on to their beliefs whether they're true or not.
okay.
That's what it
Thank
sounds
you,
like.
Brenda. Thank you. I'll give a response. Sorry. I haven't shared this piece of information with you personally, so that's why I kind of forgot. Have you heard of the Asch conformity experiment?
No, I have no idea what you're
No,
talking.
it's okay. It was an experiment where they took individuals, showed them 3 or 4 different lengths of line, put them in a room full of actors who were paid to lie, and 3 out of 4 individuals literally went against the obvious reality because of peer pressure and the actors
Out of
lying.
how many?
That's 75% of the people in the study.
Out of how many? What was the total amount of people done the experiment on?
I'll follow up with you on that, Max. Thank you.
Okay.
Well-
because 75% of 10 people means nothing in the scale of 8 billion people in the world.
Well, I don't know what am I supposed to take away from something like that? People can be influenced by peer pressure. Okay, what does that have to do with what I was saying?
You're
So
just
some
saying
people-
he's claiming he saw a curve and he didn't, is what you're saying.
There was
Yes,
nobody up there with him. How do you know? You don't know that. You can't say that.
It's just my opinion, Brenda.
I
Thank
don't
you.
care about your opinion.
It's
I care
okay.
about facts.
And then we also have a bunch of other people who have gone really high in many of the ways that we have to go that high. The one that comes to mind right now is William Shatner, who was on the Blue Horizon capsule by Jeff Bezos, and he was experiencing the clear symptoms of the overview effect, which, for those of you who don't know, the overview effect is most people who go up there get this overwhelming sensation of seeing Earth from outside that makes you realize how small a human is on the scale of just our planet. and also the universe. So
Yeah, thank you.
that's pretty compelling when you see that happen. If you watch the video where William Shatner took that capsule ride,
I
and you
remember
see him, Jeff Bezos is being just like a douche, like he's always, and then you see William Shatner having this fundamental moment in his mind, and and Jeff Bezos only wants to just toss champagne. It's amazing to see, actually.
Yeah, that's all interesting, but it's not what I was talking about.
No, yeah, I know. I was
I
just
know
bringing
you
it up as other type of experiences, and a lot of people had testified to this overview effect thing.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm not sure if. Oh, go ahead, Dr. J. Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, I guess I know that flat earthers are always gonna reject all testimony. Just figure out a way to say it's not true. I mean, they got everybody lying, not everybody, but a lot of people lying. You go to school, you get lied to. You go to SpaceX, then they tell you you've been lied to, and you design balloons or different kind of whatevers. And so there's just so much deception going on. I know that any kind of testimony from a flat earther is can never work, right? Therefore, it seems like the only thing I could even think of that a flat earther or I could agree on that we would find valuable is an experiment of predictions that we would the opposite things are predicted.
Well,
That's why I went there.
I think we could put a flat earther on the moon and have him look out at the earth, and he would deny it.
No, I think you'd
I
have
think
one
it's good.
last flat earther,
I'm
but
not
all the
kidding.
other. No,
I'm not
I think
kidding.
they would.
I think
they would change, but the rest of the flat earthers would call them a sellout.
no.
I
I
have a
think
question.
flat Earth. The flat Earth guy here. If you were stood on the moon, and you look up and you see the Earth, would you change your mind?
Yes.
Really? I don't think you
Yeah.
would.
I
fair
believe
enough.
you would.
You would.
I believe you would.
Thank you,
Isa,
Dr. J.
Isa had a question. Go ahead, Isa, please.
Yeah, I have a question for Taking Back Eden. So I'm curious, from the faith-based situation, why I see that a lot of people in the flat Earth community seem to be faith-oriented, and I'm curious why that is, because there's a lot of people of faith, like someone like Dr. J, who does not take this position. Why is faith appear to be such a central figure within this movement?
Great question. In my circles, I fish in circles that are flat earthers, but they're not Christian. So that's just one point. But to your point, Isa, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Can you run that question one more time? Why
Sure,
is
of
it?
course.
Thank
So I've noticed that faith seems to be this
Yes.
really central figure and a central place within the flat Earth movement.
Thank you. Now I remember the answer. We did have faith in other agencies, organizations, textbooks, etc. Once, after closer examination, we lost that faith. So a lot of people turned to other textbooks and found information there they could test, and they found faith in that information very reliable, and I'm one of them.
But you know that that's all just lies, right? You're just sitting here lying to us, because that's not what happened, is it?
Well, Brenda, with all due respect, you could be projecting. You point a finger calling me lying, but
Yeah.
are you the one
But
that's lying times 3?
Yeah, but you didn't lose your belief in these textbooks because they weren't true, right?
Wait, I personally had faith in NASA. I was a huge fan of NASA, but then when I found
I
out
don't care
that
about faith.
there
I
was
don't care about
issues,
I don't care
Okay.
about faith. I care about truth, right?
yeah,
But you didn't
same
stop.
with me.
You didn't stop believing in the textbooks because you found out they were false. You stopped believing in them because they went against your faith.
No, I thought I was a Christian when I challenged evolution. I was a Catholic, and I heard Kent Ham speak, and he blew my mind. I was like, hold on a second. There's still people talking about evolution not being true. I looked into the research, so I started to doubt my faith in evolution, and then later on, I met Ray Comfort. He took me through the 10 Commandments, and I found out I wasn't even close to a Christian.
Oh,
So
you met Ray
they're
Comfort?
The
So
evolution and the
Catholics,
Christian faith were separate time periods in my life.
so I'll tell you how my um, uh, inner life goes, which is I have a set of beliefs, and I try to maintain them to be as true as possible. And earlier today, I was in a hangout with Danny, and Danny challenges the theory of natural selection, and that's very challenging for me. I think he's wrong, but it's still very challenging. And if he could convince me, I might drop my belief in natural selection, right? I would drop that belief based on evidence and reason. But I don't think that any flat earthers work that way. They don't disbelieve in evolution or the globe earth because there's evidence and reasons. They disbelieve it because it goes against their faith, and they make a ad hoc justifications to justify rejecting something that they otherwise would know to be true. That's what faith is. Faith is believing in something even though you know it's wrong.
What about atheist flat earthers, Brenda?
I'm not talking about atheism and theism. I'm talking about
Brenda.
You mentioned faith.
Brenda, are you open to the possibility that they see evidence that you think is obviously stupid, so they have to have another way of getting there, and you're just having a hard time imagining, even though it's true, that they just accept the evidence that you think is just obviously wrong, and that they take it as good evidence, and they think they're following the evidence, and they're doing the exact same thing you are? You know what I'm saying? Like
they're not doing the same. They're not doing the same thing I am. They are not basing their beliefs on a justified true belief.
They think they are, right? They think they are, and they think you aren't.
You can think that you're in the desert, but you're not. You know, you can think something.
Right. But what I'm saying is they could be following the same process you are.
No, they're not. They're not.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. J.
Not true. There's just not true. They're not. I mean, I used to think that if I came up with the good arguments, that I could move, or I could influence somebody who is a flat earther to change their beliefs. But their beliefs aren't based in reason and evidence the way mine are. Theirs are based on an irrational belief that goes against all evidence. My beliefs are based in evidence. Theirs are not.
Are you familiar with the concept of the horse and the rider? Like you read Jonathan Haidt's?
I was growing up.
Sorry, you read like Jonathan Haidt's book works on this?
I'm familiar with his work in what he calls moral foundations.
So basically, it's the idea that the way most of us change our mind almost always is we all think that we are intellectual and that we're changing our minds based on intellectual ideas, and we're the rider, right? We think we're controlling the horse, and the horse is often our emotions, and therefore we think we're intellectually always moving, we're controlling the horse, and then we find out later it's actually that the horse is the one really in control and often moves us. So it's often the way people get converted to Christianity or stop being Christians has nothing to do with arguments. It's all about friendships and relationships and so on and so forth, right? This is like a super, super important thing. So you're probably right that you might not be able to ever convince a flat earther based on arguments or whatever. I just want to say that they're not fundamentally doing, there's not something fundamentally going on different in their head than yours.
I disagree. I think there is something fundamentally and objectively different. I think that there are objective ways that you can determine if something is true or false. And I think that at best, maybe the horse is rational. Right? If you want to say that, if you're saying I have no agency in my thoughts, and I have no agency in my reasons and my reasoning ability, right? Then that's a level of skepticism that I'm not willing to embrace. I'm not willing to believe that everything I think and believe is simply irrational. Rationality is causal. What causes me to believe that the earth is flat, what causes me to believe that the earth is a globe is the fact that the earth is a globe. There's a causal relationship between the facts and my beliefs.
Yeah, I stated it pretty strongly, and so I maybe stated it too strongly.
For flat earthers, there's no causal relationship. It's irrational, not rational. A rational belief, your belief is caused by the reasons for belief, the justification. For flat earthers, the cause is irrational. It is their beliefs are not caused by the reasons for their belief.
So maybe I can try to explain it this way. Is there anything in your life that when you were way younger, that when you look at it back at it now, you were like, that was super, super dumb that I believe that?
Well, yeah, I used to be
Yeah. So what? Yes. And so while you were born again Christian, did you think to yourself, I'm being irrational right now and I know it?
No, I didn't.
So you weren't. I don't think you fundamentally changed how you think from then.
It doesn't.
Not
It
how
doesn't
you think,
follow. Your argument doesn't follow. It doesn't follow that because I was not aware that my beliefs were based in irrationality, therefore I cannot have any beliefs that are based in rationality. Those things don't follow. You're making your argument is not valid.
It sounds like you're accusing the flat earthers of just saying this is irrational. I know it, and I'm going to do it anyway.
Well, I think many of them do know it, and they're in they're in a great deal of cognitive dissonance. I think some of them do know it, and they're psychopaths, and I think others don't know it, and they're simply they've simply been deceived by other people. But I think that there are objective ways to determine the truth of your beliefs. And what you were suggesting from Jonathan Haidt, if you have it right, if I'm understanding you right, there is no such thing as an objective truth. Is that what you're saying?
No. It's just I'm saying
objective truth, then there's a way to know if your beliefs are based in objective truth. And then it doesn't matter whether you're riding the horse or not, your beliefs are true.
What I was trying to say was that what often causes us to change our mind tends to be more of an emotional thing. There's emotional reasons more than, and we tend to deny those rather than we all think we're being super logical. We all just think, oh, we're just being logical all the time. So
that's not true. But that's not true. I like I said, just earlier today, I was talking to Danny. I don't know if you know him. It's Phil Talk. Danny is a philosopher. He's a PhD candidate. He does not accept natural selection as a scientific law, right? Mm-hmm. And so I listened to him, and he has reasons for why he believes, and I'm not convinced. But if his reasons were enough, I could be convinced. Any one of my beliefs could change if I was given reasons to change my beliefs. It's not based on on being the horse and rider, right? It's not arbitrary. It's causal.
So if you really hated Danny, will you think that would matter? I bet it would.
No, I don't think it would matter. I don't think it would matter.
I think you're being pretty optimistic on your ability to disassociate the emotional connection with people and things and decision making.
That might be true to a degree, but I don't think that's all that can be said. I think that beliefs are caused by antecedent reasons. It's a causal relationship. It's not arbitrary, right?
And so one of those
caused, but I could be influenced to accept. You take me, put me in a cell, put a hose on me, douse me with hose, blast me with Lawrence. I think for me it wouldn't be rock and roll. It'd be probably Lawrence Welk would probably drive me out of my mind, right? So blast me with Lawrence Welk. After a while, I might believe anything you tell me, right? But that doesn't mean that there's no such thing as irrational beliefs. Those are that's
Yeah,
not logic.
I wasn't trying to say there wasn't rational beliefs. There was no such thing. I'm just saying that the reason we change our minds, there's a lot of different things than just cold, hard calculations. And so if you see a flat earther doing something and you assume nefariousness, right? Like they're doing something evil, or they're crazy, or they're psycho, or something else very, very negative.
They're not all that way. I told you they're not all that way. I think some of them it is nefarious. I think Nathan Oakley is a malignant narcissist, and he deliberately lies to people in order for his perceived benefit, right? But I don't think that's true of others. I think some of the others are simply people who are easily influenced by other people. I don't think I am, but I'm not putting an absolute cap on it. But at the same time, I have a strong understanding in my understanding of epistemology is that beliefs have antecedent causes, right? So the truth of the proposition is caused by the antecedents to that proposition.
So, but with Eden here,
hold on, 1 second before you answer. Max Visha gifted 5 memberships, and Douglas Jenkins, Reggie O's, Harv, Speed Romance, and Jason Johansson got them.
I think I should let others talk for a bit.
Thank you so much. You can answer Dr. J, and I'm going to hand it over afterwards to Ronnie, see what he has on his head right now, because he hasn't spoken since he came. Welcome aboard.
Did you tell me to finish or wrap up?
Yes, but finish what you were saying at that. I cut you off, and then we'll hand it over to Ronnie.
So kind of my reason for going down that road is like, I think that at some point, we in our history, we all believe things that we now think weren't true. And so even if we think flat earthers are believing some that aren't true, I think there may be some that are lying. I have no idea, that may be true. I've not been around which flat earther is a liar or has obviously been caught in a ton of lies or whatever. But I think the default I have is I think that people can believe all kinds of things we don't think are true. Like all of us in this room, except for Issa, think the Muslims are wrong. And there's a lot of them. And it doesn't mean they're all irrational or crazy or lying or whatever, right? And so I try to default be like pretty nice to people that I disagree with in the flat Earth community.
Do you think truth is objective?
I do.
Yes, but my confidence level that I have it and everyone else doesn't is not as high as yours.
I don't think that at all. I don't think that. But I do think the reason that I reacted so in an animated way was because it felt to me like you're saying there's really no such thing as truth. We're just a rider on a horse, and whatever we believe is determined by the horse, which I take as an analog for the subconscious mind, or you know, and other mental forces that we're not consciously aware of, and that there's no such thing as truth. 2 + 2 could be 5. Could it?
No, that's not what I was trying to say. I was just saying.
Well, it could be, couldn't it? 2 + 2 could be 5, couldn't it? You could change your mind about that.
This is an analogy. This was to analogize the psychology of why people might change their mind about things. And so then, therefore, if you say like, well, flat earthers always believe this because of, you know, whatever, I'm like, no, I don't think that's true. They could believe
you give me a hose. You give me a hose and a dark, isolated room and several months, and I'll get somebody to say that 2 + 2 is 5. That doesn't mean it is, and it doesn't mean that beliefs
I didn't say
whatever you think they are.
I didn't say.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt.
Well, I didn't say that it made flat earthers more or less right. Do you think I'm saying that means they're more correct? I'm just saying in regards to convincing them of things, that going straight to the irrational, they don't think correctly, they, you know, something like that. That's what I was trying to push back.
Well,
we might have been missing each other big time.
I'll say what Doug at Pine Creek has said that Catholic girls have converted more non-believers than any philosopher ever has.
All right. Then,
Oh, you
going
want to talk about the horse? You want to talk about the horse and the rider? Oh boy, that motive in your 20s. Your girlfriend is a nice Catholic girl. She ain't never been touched. Holy shit! There's a powerful subsystem in your brain that is putting those spurs in your thigh. Oh, let me
That's
tell
right.
you.
And the person
right.
that chases after that
One
girl
second.
is not irrational. They're like a normal person.
One second. With that thought, we're going to hand it over to Rodney. And then I have a couple of questions from the audience, and we'll go around giving our answers, because I'm going to keep it going until we reach the 10,000. We're 5 away. So go call anyone that's in your house right now. Go get them, grab their phone, and subscribe. At this point, we're resorting to guerrilla strategies to get this done. So let's go. We can do it. Rodney, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a couple points there where I kind of want to interject the thought that, like, people can convince themselves of a lie. Like you can convince yourself that something that didn't happen did happen. You tell yourself a lie long enough, you're going to end up believing it. Or some kind of like cognitive thing can go on, and you can convince yourself that something happened a different way than it actually happened. So like you can convince yourself of a lie. So if you like start out not believing something to be true, but you do the little mind games you do with yourself, and eventually you can convince yourself that something that you previously held as not being true or incorrect is now correct. On top of that, also, intellectual integrity. I did a thing on this a while back with Skeptics and Scoundrels, and we were like looking into like what roles different kind of techniques play when you're doing research and determining what your beliefs are. And intellectual integrity plays a massive role, because sometimes you do allow your bias to direct which way your eyes are going to float on the screen. So whether you have a flat earth thing on this side of the screen and a globe earth thing on this side of your screen, and you're more prone to maybe conspiratorial thinking, or you like that idea or the feeling of maybe being different than the majority, then your eyes will float probably to the flat earth side of the screen. Whereas if you try and be more rational about it and say, okay, well, what does each have to offer? And you look for why what you think is wrong and see if it holds up to, what reality has to offer. And then you find out, well, no, okay, the earth is a globe. So my personal idea aside about how I feel about the man or the establishment, flat earth just isn't a thing, and the earth is a globe. So rationality, intellectual integrity, it all plays a part whenever you're like trying to determine what your beliefs are going to be, and whether you're going to change a belief. And I do agree with you, Dr. J, that emotion plays a huge part in when for a lot of people to change their mind about something. I can't think of any like examples off the top of my head, but I'm sure everybody can admit at some point to making a decision or saying something out of emotion, whether they believed it or not, or whether they still believe it or not. So yeah, those are just kind of my thoughts on all that.
Yeah, well stated.
All right. I'm going to read a couple of questions. Remember, you can send questions, and I have my eye on the chat all the time. If I see something interesting, I will ask the audience. But if you want to make sure that your question gets read, you can always send a super chat. I hope that addresses your question. Blessed be he. If I find the question interesting and that it will add to the conversation, I will make it to the panel. But if you send a super chat, then you make sure that it is read. And we're going to start with the one that just arrived right now. And Maximiliano Villa, blessed be he, says, question for Isa, do you think Muslim scholars had any influence on Copernicus when he developed the heliocentric universe? And Max, thank you for sending a super chat to ask someone else's question. That's what I love about this channel, that everyone here has a great sense of camaraderie and everyone is welcome. Max, thank you so much. So Isa.
Sure. I think we live in a globalized world where we're going to be influencing each other. So I do think that that's an issue that I've noticed. Just to be frank, there's a kind of a lot of Islamophobia and kind of retconning of history, and folks want to make Muslims into these kind of vile, horrible fiends that want to kill and murder. And I do think that it's important to recognize that the Muslim communities did contribute to scientific thought, mathematics, science, all of these elements, Greek translations of Greek philosophy. That's a part of the tradition. Primarily, it was Sufis who were the progenitors of this. They're not usually given credit, but those are the folks who actually did a lot of this work. So I don't know for sure. I can't prove that fact, but I would definitely think that there's been influences of all kinds of things throughout intellectual capacities.
All right, thank you so much. And Douglas Jenkins asked for John taking back Eden. Buzz Aldrin is an elder in the Presbyterian Church. He served himself communion on the moon while in the LEM. Is he lying?
Oh, hi. Okay. I believe he was either hypnotized or part of the operation. And I believe all should forgive. I have evidence of a potential Freudian slip. I think there were several occasions where he let it just go either by accident or by Freudian slip that they didn't go. So sorry, I'm out of breath. I just ran back to the microphone. I heard my name.
Yeah, no problem. No, don't worry about it. It's fine. We are at 9,096. So 9,996. So 4 more to go. We can do this. Come on. Robin Webster says, we love you, Isa. And she's absolutely right. We love everyone here with us. And I have another question. Garmin asked, and this one is for you also, John, if you would accept film evidence independent from NASA.
Yeah, actually, I have on my channel one that is now private for some reason. I tried reaching out. His name is Christopher Farms. He put up the 2016 Little Piggy high altitude balloon. And thankfully, I was able to save the apex of the trip. It's a 17-minute video of a stable shot of the horizon, not showing any visible curve, which is what others have found as well. For some reason,
what was the altitude?
121,000 feet above sea level. I'm trying to get into details. I reached out to him.
Do you have a link to this video?
I do. It's on my channel.
For example,
he said it's private though.
From what I've seen in the Mage video by Mr. Sensible, at like 35,000 meters, which I don't know how much that is in feet, and you could clearly see the curve. So we have a little bit of conflicting evidence there.
That's the thing. I agree. I believe if there is propaganda, the sources or available sources to the public will have access to the propaganda video, and there will be outlier videos. And then we all have to examine the outlier videos closer and see if...
But he put it up there himself.
Yeah, but now the video is private. I was able to save it before he did that. So we posted it on my channel.
I was talking about Mr. Sense. I was talking about Mr.
Oh, okay,
Sense.
sorry. Thank you, Brandon.
He funded the balloon himself.
Which video is this?
Mr. Sensible, hold on. I will be sharing the link. And while I do that, I want to welcome Big Thinker as a new mod of the channel. Congratulations. Absolutely deserved. Thank you for your support. And we have a lot of fun with you here. Let me do the
Are we close to 10? Are we close to 10,000?
Yes, we are 4 away. We're 4 people away. So go get your grandma's cell phone and have her subscribe to Matters Now, so we can get this done and I can do the dork dance.
Yeah, 10,000 on March 10th. That'd be amazing.
It's probing time 666, pretty close to no, sorry, this wasn't the one I wanted. Hold on. Yes, he says that he would like to see me do the dork dance for the 10,000, which is going to happen. We're going to get it done today. So let's pool our resources and get this done so I can dork dance for you. When you see the intro of the videos, the countdown, I'm always dancing in my seat because it has a nice ring to it. That intro music. People who are backstage when the show starts regularly get to see me do that, but I don't really do it in public. But I will. If we get to 10,000 today, you will see me do the dork dance. And I had this one is the Copernicus question, which I had saved, and Max gracefully sent us a super chat to ask Blessed Be His question. Again, Max, thank you so much for that. If anyone has a question for anyone on the panel, we can do that. Oh my God, yeah!
Wow.
Yes!
I think I know what this means.
Yes! We did it!
Oh, okay.
We
Hey.
Congratulations.
did it! Yes,
Nice.
hold on. Yes!
10,000
Yes,
and
yes,
one.
yes. Woohoo! Yes, thank you. Wow, this is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Thank you, everyone. I want to thank Dr. J, John, Brenda, Isa, Tell Me More, and everyone in the audience. The reception to this channel has been pretty amazing. When we started last year, it was just a bunch of people getting together and talking about stuff. But then Oz, with his extreme hard work and dedication to the channel, he put and he believed in this. So Oz, we
How
did
did
it.
that happen?
Look at that.
It jumps like 6.
Yes,
I
in
did
just a
post
moment.
it. I posted it a couple places. I was like, oh, anyways, but awesome. What the hell?
Yeah.
Yes.
I hope it keeps compounding.
That's
Somebody
pretty
told me
amazing.
once we went past 10,000, it's like it then 20,000 is quicker. I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that. But whatever.
Yeah, right?
Max says he got 4 people to sub. Thank you so much for
believe
that.
it. Thank you.
Thank you. It's and I was reminiscing a bit of the first videos we did. We didn't have animated background. It was just a bunch of people gathering and talking about stuff. If you go and check, all those videos are in our catalog, and it's been pretty amazing. And the amount of work you have put us into this, it's
paying off.
It's really amazing, and I always thank you for letting me be a part of this and hosting my own show, now hosting the after shows and the pre-shows. So it has been an absolutely thrilling ride with every one of you. It's
might
amazing.
be,
So
it might be Oz. It might be that once you hit 10K, the algorithm promotes you more.
It may be. Like I can only hope, but. Anyways, I need to get the view counts. It doesn't matter. It's the audience. Like the smaller audiences, like participate more too. It's more of a closer knit community. So I'm almost because I like it that I can respond to everybody in the comment sections or most of them. Like I get caught up in debates I need to stop doing that. But
Now you're just gonna just dismiss all the people in the audience and just go, nah.
All people.
No, but it's
Yeah.
good because I, for example, remember people who are regularly in the chat and who send messages and who send you, okay, you did great this show, and leave a comment. It's good that when you have a reduced audience, that you get to get some personal involvement with them. It gets harder and harder as the channel grows, but I will still give my best effort to remember people who are active in the channel. And Robin, another 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Robin. And they have gone to Tom Willis, Igor, Morgie321, Nominal, and The Broken Bookshelf. That's a cool screen name.
People may not know that they could go back and look at my history. Just Google Ozian, and I've been doing this for 4 years, and they can see streams of mine where I was streaming to like 0 viewers for like 8 hours, or 1 viewer, or 5 viewers, or whatever. But
There's a lot now. Recently, I think I saw one well into the 300, 400 once, maybe even more than that.
I think the most we've had on here is like 170.
170? Okay, I think
Yeah.
it was pretty high.
Yeah, we've been doing pretty good. For me, at least for us, like 50 for me. And we have so many channel members. It's just amazing. All the gifted channel memberships, like Robin just gifted out channel memberships. It's just, man, I really do appreciate all the people participating and all the people that come on these panels. It's really, really awesome. So the community is just amazing, and
yeah, I agree. And thanks for hosting, you guys.
Yeah,
you're welcome. It's super fun hosting the shows, the after shows, and for my show, that Tell Me That Story show, creating the script, thinking about what we're going to talk about, making up a few jokes. It's something that it's lovely. Even what the parts where I'm doing stuff alone are super enjoyable. So it's great that we have all your support. And we have another question for Isa. Blessed be he says, can Isa tell me the name of the Islamic scholar that influenced Copernicus? Matters now.
Okay, I'm going to go back and watch. Bye. Back to sleep. Trying to sleep.
Enjoy.
I would say that it's Nasruddin al-Tusi. That's who I would believe. That's what I think is the scholar that seems to be the one who influenced him.
All right, thank you very much. And I think that we managed to get everything that we wanted. I'm going to share the link that John Taking Back Eden has sent us. And we get a super chat incoming. Huhaman 199. Congrats on 10,000. Momentum moving on up. Thank you very much, Huhaman. I know you've been here, and we loved having you on stage the time we had you. So I really can't thank everyone enough. I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but it's mind blowing, the support, and Isa hosting the Tell Me That Story show with me. I think we're getting to a good place, and everything is looking great. Let's go around the panel and give our final thoughts, and we'll close it out for tonight. I think we had a great conversation. I want to thank Dr. J, John, Taking Back Eden, Tell Me More, Rodney, Isa, as always, and Brenda for joining us on this impromptu stream that happened because the debate that was supposed to be today got moved to tomorrow. And Dr. J told me, hey, why don't we jump on stream and do something? And I told him, I had that idea, but I couldn't think of what to do. So he bounced off some ideas to do a stream with me. So Dr. J, this is to you. Thank you so much. And I'm going to hand it over to you for some final thoughts, and we'll close it out for tonight.
What's upcoming?
After the final thoughts, I'll do the
No, I
round
mean
that
the next stream. I mean, are you doing an after show for MDD or what?
yeah, tomorrow, Mark Reed debate Hussein on what's the best. Hold on, let me get the actual title for everyone.
Best for society, Islam versus secular humanism, or something
Yes,
like that.
exactly. Secular humanism versus Islamic ethics. Mark Reed versus Hussein. I'm really looking forward to that debate. So if you have something to say, we will be hosting a pre-show, and the after show will be over at Mark Reed's channel. So final thoughts, Dr. J, and then I'll do some housekeeping to be sending us on our way.
Well, thanks for joining. Hopefully, for the people that watched from the beginning and looked at some of those passages we were looking at, I hopefully demonstrated that the Bible doesn't seem to dictate a flat Earth. There's ways to interpret it that's not a flat Earth. You could be as crazy conservative as you want, or as liberal as you want. You don't have to believe in flat Earth. Ken Ham's not a flat earther. Hovind's not a flat earther. So if a flat earther ever tells you that the Bible demands it, I just think they're completely incorrect about that. So hopefully I demonstrated that. And thank you, everyone, for joining us.
All right, John, take it away. Final thoughts.
Hi, thank you. And thank you, everyone. My point of view is that the Bible did get it right. And I want to let you know that lies cost money. There was a recent debate between, actually, I'll say that for another video. I want you guys to know that tomorrow is not promised. So please consider the 10 Commandments, parables of Jesus, and looking into biblical cosmology. I have all the evidence on my channel. And thank you for your consideration.
No
Much love
problem.
to you all.
Send me the link on the private chat to your channel, so I'll paste it, and everyone can just click and go to your channel directly. Rodney, final thoughts?
I know I wasn't here for most of it. I was trying to do my own thing that got taken down. But yeah, I feel like again, I know I've said before that like the flat Earth versus globe kind of thing is a little, but I guess looking at the flat Earth in terms of like some kind of biblical beliefs, like it's been said not all Bible believers think that the Earth is flat, and not all flat earthers have some kind of religious or biblical beliefs. So I guess that just kind of shows you there's like just as much variation within the flat Earth beliefs as there is even amongst Christian beliefs. So not all Christians believe the same things. Not all atheists believe the same things. Not all flat earthers believe the same things. There's a lot of variety, and there's a lot of things to look into and to learn about. So stay sharp, and like Dr. Dan of Creation Myth says, don't get fooled.
Thank you so much, Rodney. And Ita, final thoughts?
Well, I always think this is an important conversation, and I think it's important to give space to people who have different views. I know that during tonight we've had some strong feelings that have come through and strong positions that have been held, and I think it's really important, even if we don't agree, to try to hear out and give the best perspective, the best placement for whoever our interlocutor is, and try to trust wherever they're coming from. And I think it's just, I think it's really cool because it shows us that we can grow in our dialogue and grow in our conversation. And I think that that's an awesome thing.
Thank you very much. And Brenda, final thoughts?
Oh, I just congratulations and thank you for letting me come on.
Oh, you're
I
welcome.
don't have a whole lot
Anytime.
to say. I made peanut butter cookies while the show was going on. I'll say that much.
That's great. All right, I'm going to do some housekeeping, so I'm going to put you in the back room just for a moment, but hang around after the show so we can celebrate together a little bit. All right, so tomorrow, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are having a pre-show to the MDD debate, and the after show for that debate, which is secular humanism versus Islamic ethics, Mark Reed versus Hussein. The after show for that one will be over at Mark Reed's channel. I will be co-hosting. I talked with Mark Reed earlier today, so I will be co-hosting over there. And tomorrow also we have at 12 p.m. Oz is going to continue his very successful series of reschooling flat earthers, and it's going to be about addressing Whitsett's NASA fraud video. So this is the seventh episode of that series, and next week we have in the Tell Me That Story show, the link hasn't gone up yet, but we have a little bit of the Norse myth. Curiosities in Norse mythology will be this week's Tell Me That Story show, Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This has been a great stream, and my voice is running already. But I want to thank everyone, the audience, the mods, everyone who's a part of this. And thank you for helping us get to the 10,000 subscribers. And we'll keep on keeping on. This is Matters Now. My name is Max, and here this is Matters Now, where your voice matters. Thank you very much, and have a good night and a great weekend.